Ooh, look at that log. Yeah, the one up top with that cut off branch. I know, it looks a little rough, but let's follow it on a journey to becoming a beautiful live edge mantle. Fast forward 2 months and it's time to pull this big heavy beam out of the shop and roll her down the road for some processing. At my buddy's bigger shop, the big bandsaw lives. And so here we are unloading her and taking her end over end, since there's no better way, in my book, to move a 200-pound walnut beam. The two men who struggled to get it in my truck did ask me how I was going to unload it at home, and I didn't have a very good answer for them. Before we hoist her up onto the bandsaw, it's time to get out one of my favorite fine woodworking tools, the Stihl MS391. Yes, for those safety-minded viewers out there who are watching closely, I am wearing chacos in this clip. Be careful. Don't cut yourself. Safety first. Don't want me overheating, do you? All right, here we are positioning the wood to go through the bandsaw. It's still about 120 pounds at this point, so I'm making sure I've got everything lined up with roller carts and roller stands. This push right here and fast forward actually took about 3 minutes. At this point, it's light enough to hoist up on my shoulder and put back in the Tundra to head back home for some more processing. Sanding part goes from a flap disc on an angle grinder to a disc sander and eventually the orbital sander, walking from low grit all the way up to 220 grit until you have a nice rounded off surface. And hey, I told you, starting to look pretty good, right? Before we apply any finish, we've got to flip this baby over on the back. Since I'm kind of small and this baby's kind of big, I'm going to need an easy mounting process when we arrive at the client's house. So I'm going to use a track saw, a router, and eventually some chisels to hollow out a recess on the back of the mantle for a French cleat mounting system where I can just lift this right onto the wall and not have to bolt it in once we get there. Now it's time to apply some finish, and we start to see the glory of that walnut shining through. Getting our first good look at it here. Last step before going up to the client's house is to prepare the mounting bracket itself that'll form the part of the French cleat that is attached to the wall. No comments on my strategies and skills here, folks. I am a woodworker, not a metal worker. I did find that drilling through hardened steel is rather challenging. Drilling through hardened steel. Yeah. A third take, maybe? Drilling through hardened steel is rather challenging, but there we go. Eventually, we got it all through, got the two pieces attached to one another and ready to carry up to the client's house. An already beautiful stone hearth was waiting for me. Removed one strip of stone that was going to be right behind the mantle, installed some anchor bolts in the studs. And then it was time to go outside and hoist the mantle up one last time to mount her on the wall. Straining those calves, wiping off a little construction adhesive I didn't know was on my shirt, and what do you know? Pretty good looking mantle. We did choose to leave some bark on this live edge project. I do expect that that bark will not last more than 5 or 10 years. It's in an outdoor setting, but I did spray it very deep with teak oil, and I'm hoping that that hardening will at least get it to last in this state for a while. Hope you enjoyed watching the project. Hope you loved the mantle as much as the clients did. This is Turner Lee with Woodcraft South, and I will catch you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.